Hi guys, I'm back and this time we're going through how to write the perfect personal statement. And I hope you find this useful. Let's crack on with it.
Okay, so this right here is a completed personal statement. And this is a medicine personal statement. And as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in total paragraphs. And we'll break down what each paragraph should contain. Now, I'm sure you all have heard about it, your opening statement. Your opening statement is the one thing that is going to capture your reader and make them read on. And of course, your finishing paragraph or finishing statement. This is equally important because this is what is the last thing that your reader is going to remember about this personal statement. This last paragraph is what will stick in their heads. Now, a lot of people do prefer using quotes. I personally would say quotes are overused. Unless this is something that you really can't think of anything else to write, then use a quote. At the end of the day, you want your personal statement to be a reflection of yourself, and a quote by somebody else is not going to fully achieve this. So I would say avoid quotes, unless it's a quote that absolutely ties in with your psyche and your reasoning for applying for a particular course, etc. So what I like to tell people whenever they're writing a personal statement is you should have a paragraph dedicated to the academics, have a paragraph dedicated to supracurricular activities, one for extracurricular activities, and of course your last finishing paragraph that ties everything in, the conclusion. And I always say keep your intro paragraph really short and snappy. It should be a little intro essentially to the entirety of your personal statement, but it should not give everything away. Put in this paragraph, in your first paragraph, you want to put what you deem as the most important part of your entire personal statement. What you want the reader to get as their first impression of you as a person. So for me, my opening statement started off sounding very long, and then I decided I want to actually break it up a little bit. I want to make the reader not get lost whilst reading one big long sentence. So if you can, try to choose a sentence or write a sentence which is short. And this applies for the entire personal statement. You want to have long and short sentences. Incredibly long sentences can get very boring and they miss the point. But if you feel really passionate about something and it just cannot be written in 2 separate chunks or 3 separate chunks, and you want to write it in one long sentence, then go for it. So that's the first paragraph. I've, as you can see, broken it up into little sections. There is this one tiny little sentence here, and then it's followed by a longer sentence. That usually helps. If you think you're going to write one long sentence, write a really tiny sentence in front of it or after it, just to give that long sentence some freshness, just to make that long sentence seem original and unique. And again, now we're on to the second paragraph. Now I wanted to really talk about my personal experience at work experience, and I felt that would really work in my favor because this was something that stood out about me. That's why I put my supracurricular activities in the second paragraph. So when I say supracurricular activities, that's usually the things that you've done that tie in well with the career or course you are applying for. So if it's medicine, this includes any type of work experience within the field of healthcare, or any other work experience you feel will tie in well with healthcare essentially. So I would dedicate a paragraph to supercurricular activities. And here I've just spoken about what I wanted to really highlight, your best work experience. Remember, anything that you have done but really doesn't have that great an importance can always go into your UCAS application. So really you want to be highlighting your most favorite piece of work experience and what you've learned from it in this one paragraph. This third paragraph here, this highlights academics and also any other skills you've acquired along the way, particular skills which highlight that you're a very intelligent person. Of course, work experience is very, very important, but for applying for any course, essentially, you want to show that, you know, you're a smart person. Why would they choose you above those hundreds of applicants? So I would dedicate one paragraph to your academics. Speak about things that would. I always say to anybody I help with a personal statement, if you are from a specific ethnic background or culture, speak about that. Speak about the languages you know. If you speak a different language at home, use this to your advantage. Communication skill is one skill that is transferable to all work types. So communication skill can be spoken about in this respect. And the general theme of your entire personal statement should reflect the different skill sets that are needed for your specific work field or career field that you're applying for. But remember, there are some skills which are transferable to all of them. And in fact, even if you are applying for an IT course, for example, which doesn't really require communication, if you have that skill, it will put you at an advantage over other people. Similarly, with something along the lines of healthcare, which requires mainly communication skills, IT skills puts you at an advantage. This will, you know, give you an extra advantage over others, because this might be something that others are not focusing on. So any skill that you can talk about it. Skills and qualities, I say. But the qualities that you have should be reflected from generally your application overall, the type of work you've undertaken, the type of extracurricular work you do, the type of supercurricular work experience you've taken part in. That should naturally reflect from the entirety of your personal statement. So I would stay away from saying things like, I'm a really caring person. That's a very generic statement. Remember, you're not just listing off facts, listing off things you've done. You want to be talking about specifics, specific memories that you've had. Reserve some little moments that you want to talk about in your interview as well, provided you get through, which, if you follow my steps, there's no reason why you wouldn't. So, yes. Now, the last paragraph before the actual final paragraph. I've put my extracurricular activities here, and I actually try to tell most students to put their extracurricular activities in the penultimate paragraph. This is supposed to be telling the reader that, wait a minute, yes, I'm very interested in doing the course that I'm applying for, but at the same time, I'm a very wholesome person. I have all these other facets to me. This includes any jobs you might have had, or anything else you might have done, which may not have anything to do with the course you're applying for, but there are transferable skills you can learn from it. For examples, if you did a sport, let's say netball or football. Now, what does these two sports require you to do? They require to have incredible time management skills, as well as teamwork skills. If you've played in a team sport, that absolutely has relevance, because again, these are things that are transferable to all jobs and careers and any paths that you may go on. And the last sentence here. Remember this, as we already spoke, this is supposed to tie in everything that you've written about. And again, instead of telling the reader that you need to hire me, you need to convince them in this sentence. You need to convince the reader that, you know what? I'm really passionate about what I'm applying for, and what I've written about, that's not all to it. I have far more depth in me. This is the one paragraph that you can talk about the future, in fact, about what you see beyond the course, what you see yourself doing beyond the course, what your purpose is for doing this course, as much as it should reflect in your first paragraph here. So feel free to have a read of this personal statement.
Anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment and share. Hit that subscribe button. The screen's going to come up right here, and just hit that